posted on Truth Social last night, you urged House Republicans to vote in favor of this Epstein release bill they're going to vote on tomorrow. I just want to be super clear on your position. Do you want to see that pass the Senate? Would you sign that bill if it gets to your desk?
I do want to. Here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. You look at this Reid Hoffman, you look at Larry Summers, Bill Clinton, they went to his island all the time, and many others. They're all Democrats. All I want is for people to recognize the great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower, on energy, on ending 8 wars and another one coming pretty soon, I believe. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. So I'm all for it. You know, we've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that. Unfortunately, like with the Kennedy situation, with the Martin Luther King situation, not to put Jeffrey Epstein in the same category, but no matter what we give, it's never enough. You know, with Kennedy, we gave everything and it wasn't enough. With Martin Luther King, we gave everything and it's never enough. We've already given, I believe the number is 50,000 pages, 50,000 pages. And it's just a Russia hoax as it pertains to the Republicans. Now, I believe that many of the people some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein. But they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all. And we'll see what happens. What I just don't want Epstein to do is detract from the great success of the Republican Party, including the fact that the Democrats are totally blamed for the shutdown. You know, they cost our country hundreds of billions of dollars with that, at a lot of inconvenience. So I'm for I don't. They can do whatever they want. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them. And it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. And I don't want to take it away from really the greatness of what the Republican Party has accomplished over the last period of time.
Well, President Trump is calling for the release of the Epstein files after previously opposing that move. And tomorrow there's a major House vote on the subject. The president explains this. We have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party. And he had more to say in the Oval Office.
We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. All I want for people to recognize the great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower. Just a Russia hoax as it pertains to the Republicans. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem.
This comes as Democratic Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett of the U.S. Virgin Islands was caught exchanging text messages with Jeffrey Epstein about how to hurt Trump during a 2019 hearing with Michael Cohen. The Washington Post, who first broke that story, matching up the timestamps of her text and video from the hearing.
Even today, in a written submission that contradicted your testimony, you have suggested you are going to review that. Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the president's campaign or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was your idea for the campaign.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona, who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
And we reached out to Plaskett's office. We have not gotten a response. Jesse, let's go to you first. Will this House vote and getting all of this out finally put an end to the story?
Never, Dana.
Okay.
Never, because you can't release everything. A lot of it's, they're going to say national security, and they'll be able to hold that back. They'll be able to argue that it's classified, national security implications, you can't see it. It looks like Massey's just has a vendetta against Trump. You know, these margins are so small. So he just goes over to the Democrat side. You get every Democrat plus Massey, and they release this thing. And so Trump's like, fine, flush it out. You want it, you got it. I'm going to give you whatever we got. It's not going to be everything, but it'll be some. Axios says whatever's out so far is already no smoking gun. There's already an email where in the email, Epstein says, quote, Trump never got a massage. Epstein's lawyer says Trump was clean. Maxwell said he was clean. Not a single victim has come forward and said Donald Trump did anything. So I think we could put that to rest. If Epstein had anything, he would have blackmailed Trump in the first term. If anybody had anything, there were 3 elections that went through. They would have used it then. They were making up a P-tape to blackmail him with. If they had a massage tape, that definitely would have already come out. It looks more and more like this guy was intelligence. He was an FBI informant right after the financial crisis. He's back channeling with the Russians. He's back channeling with the Saudis. He's got the former prime minister of Israel staying at his place. Michael Wolff's column that had been spiked just dropped. They have Gates over at the House. They have the head of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee over at Epstein's house. The Australian Prime Minister. It turns out Epstein's on the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission? I mean, Jesus, how deep does this go?
Harold, do you think that Democrats like Plaskett, when all of this comes out, are just going to pick and choose whatever they want from this report to try to make their case?
I don't think they'll be able to do that. I think when you say they are going to, who is they? I'm just trying to figure out. Do you mean the Justice Department or?
Yeah, in 30 days, if this passes, Justice Department's going to have to release everything. That means whatever the FBI, the Department of Justice
I just want to make
found out, they're going to have to release victim statements, whatever is not sealed or grand jury testimony, they're going to have to release.
So then I don't look at this politically at all. I think wherever the chips may fall, let the chips fall. President Trump campaigned on this in 2024 and a lot of his supporters in 2020 as well. And they make the case that Democrats didn't release this when Joe Biden was in office, and they're right. But now, with all of the energy around this, again, this is not something I wake up thinking about or go to bed thinking about, but the only way you're going to put it to rest, I tried to say last week, was full transparency. And it seems like we're getting closer to that. And if the Congress and the Senate vote for this, hopefully the Justice Department will comply. We can get the information out. And I don't agree with what President Trump is doing on affordability, but I do agree with him. I want to get back to talking about how we can get prices lower and make the country better.
Well, it is interesting, Kayleigh, that after 40 days and 40 nights of the shutdown, this is the first order of business in Washington.
Yeah, it is really striking. And to your point about Biden, a reporter asked Chuck Schumer, why wouldn't the Epstein files have been released in the last 4 years when Biden was in office? And Schumer, maybe he misheard the question, but he said, that's the question every American is asking. What the hell is he hiding? So true. So I think Schumer misheard the question, but it is a fair question. I don't think we're going to learn anything new with regard to Trump in this. The same facts that have always been out about Trump are still out. One, he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. Number two, Virginia Giuffre said over and over again, I have never seen his name anywhere. He wasn't involved in wrongdoing, paraphrasing her, but she did say that when she was alive in a deposition. But I do think we're going to learn new things about Democrats, like Stacey Plaskett. She's coordinating with Jeffrey Epstein. I was reading the text message chain. Quick, I'm up next. Tell me what that acronym means. And the acronym was RONA, which was the name of Trump's assistant, but she thought it was an acronym. And then she goes on. Epstein says to her after her line of questioning, good work. So literally, here's a Democrat coordinating with Epstein. Then we learn Michael Wolff, New York Post headline, Trump-obsessed writer Michael Wolff encouraged Jeffrey Epstein to blackmail then presidential candidate Donald Trump. Emails reveal. So learn another thing about Democrats. Michael Wolff's a Democrat. Not sure if he'd say that, but he is. 26 times Clinton was on the plane. Hope to learn more about that. The DNC accepting $32,000 from Epstein. The list goes on. Democrats have a lot to answer for, and I think they open a Pandora's box, and we'll see what's in it.
What will be in it, Greg?
Well, you know what? Every month we get a new scandal that if it were the Republicans would have destroyed the party. A Democrat congresswoman was being prepped in real time by a convicted sexual predator in a hearing that involved her adversaries. What, R. Kelly was busy? She couldn't get him? But I mean, if you think about, I know this is such a trite thought exercise, but if this were Republican, it would be worse than Watergate, 9/11, and Iran-Contra tied together. Because when you think about it, right then and there, he's texting her and telling her what to do. That's a pretty big story. And what's funny about the Dems, Harold accepted, as always, they deem Trump so evil that they would be willing to collaborate with anyone, including evil people, to bring him down. Their TDS has actually turned them into the very thing they accuse him of. Their strategy is to destroy him, and that is exploiting anybody, including ones who are evil. The challenge here, and I agree with Harold that, Trump campaigned on this and he wanted this stuff out. Something's changed, and it's just our awareness of how the media and the Democrats work. It's not what's in the files, it's how they will be distorted. The media is saying, oh, what are you scared of this stuff? That's like a maniac on the subway saying, what are you scared of this knife for? It's like we saw what you brought up the examples of the latest emails and how they mentioned Trump in a way that vindicated him, but they turned it so that it made it look like he was guilty. It's like they redacted the name of the victim because they knew that would have vindicated him. That's some seriously dirty pool. That's like the worst you could do. It's like removing evidence from a crime scene. So think about this. Let's say you're not Trump and you're in one of those emails. You may not have done anything wrong, but if you're not a friend to the media, they don't care. They're going to find the worst possible way to analyze that email, whether you're an accountant or a doctor or a plumber, and you happen to be in one of, hundreds of thousands of emails. I don't know how many there are. The ravenous press, they're pathetic and they're desperate for relevance, will take anybody and destroy them.